The Bloodsworn Saga is John Gwynne's new epic fantasy series based on Norse mythology. After the massive success of the Faithful and Fallen and the Banished Land Saga series, The Shadow of the Gods is the first book in this Bloodsworn Saga. I have read this book, and in this video I'm going to tell you the brief spoiler-free summary of this book, what I liked about this book, what I didn't like about this book, and whether you should add The Shadow of the Gods to your bookshelf. So the land of Vigrid has seen gods battle against each other, and that battle has led them to an extinction. So now people are trying to get their hold on to whatever that has remained after the battle of the gods. Orca, our first main character out of the three, is a fierce battle-hardened woman who loves her family dearly. But due to some incident that happens, she goes on to this killing spree in search of a vengeance. Our second main character is Vag, who is a fist-fighting loner, and he is in a quest to fulfill his oath that he had given to his sister. In this quest, he meets a group of people who goes by the name of the Bloodsworn. They are basically a group of people who are bounded by an oath, a blood oath that they have sworn together. The last character, and definitely my least favorite of the characters, is Elvar. She is a noble woman who has decided to let go of the titles and army that has been granted to her by her father in search of battle fame and respect that she wants to earn on her own. So her three main characters, Elvar, Vag and Orca, are on their journey to north for various reasons. But this journey is filled with duels, fights, battle and blood. And once they reach their destination, what they see over there is either going to blow their minds or your mind. Now let's look at what I liked about this book, and there are many things. The first thing is world building. Now world building is an essential part of any fantasy book, any series for that matter, and the world that is built here is exceptional. It's heavily based on Norse mythology. Now when I say that it's heavily based on Norse mythology, what I mean is that it has heavily borrowed elements from Norse mythology. Snaka the snake is basically the father of the gods who has created everything and then destroyed everything. His children, who are basically Ulfrir the wolf, Bursar the bear, Orna the eagle, Ratta the rat and Likrifa the dragon, are his 5 main children. Then there are trolls and monsters who are being killed by axes, and that just gives me the God of War PS4 game feeling. There are also the ones who are called the Tainted Ones, who are basically people with some magical abilities, super enhanced abilities, and they certainly add the magic quotient to this beautiful world. Now the second thing that I liked about this book, and is probably the best thing about this book, is its action scenes. I mean, the book contains awesome action scenes. The author is really great at making the reader feel that when a person is throwing the punch, you are actually throwing the punch, and when a person is getting punched in the gut, you are being punched in the gut. So that is really great thing about this author. The author has also ensured that the battle scenes of Orca and let's say battle scenes of Var, they are totally different scenes. I mean, if Orca is battling or fighting someone, she'll fight in her own way, and the description of that scene will be completely different from the description of a fight scene of Var, where Orca will use her weapons more, and where Vag will be still learning how to use weapons. He's more comfortable with his fists. So when it comes to weapon using, he's still learning. He's learning the stance and all that, and that just makes the action scenes more impactful. Third thing that I liked about this book is Swick's cheese story. I mean, I had to include this. There was no option. It's hilarious. So basically, this Swick is a character who is part of this Bloodsworn group, and this story comes in the middle part of the book where things are a bit, it's not slow, but things are just a bit settled down, and Vag is getting to know his group, how the people are there, and Swick is this funny character who just loves telling this story, and this story is about trolls. I don't want to spoil anything for the future readers, but the whole vibe that is created during this story and the reaction of people and the way this story is being told and the twist that is there, I mean, it's just funny. It's a very small chapter in the book, but I just loved it. The fourth thing that I liked about this book is its cover. I mean, look at it. There is this tiny man with a sword and a shield in his hand or her hand, and that person is facing this humongous giant. And what is there not to like? It's just awesome. I absolutely loved it. The title is awesome, and full points to this cover, man. The fifth thing that I liked about this book is basically what it sets up for the future. Now, this book is a part of the series. There are definitely going to be future books that are going to come. But I prefer any book to have a self-sufficient story, that story should end in some way in that book, and the rest of the part of those stories can go in the future books. This book certainly takes its time to build up a story, the bigger narrative that it's trying to set up and then achieve. But it's not a slow book at all. It has a lot of fast-paced scenes. The story moves quicker in certain scenes. There are a lot of action scenes also. So it's not a slow book, but it does take its time in building up the story. So the build-up is done. If you're going on a roller coaster, then that climb has been completed, which ensures that what it's trying to set up, the next part, the sequel, it's going to be one crazy ride for sure. I mean, that roller coaster is going to go on a slide, and I think we are going to have a great time in the next book. I mean, it's named Dead Gods Rising. That is temporary title, but Dead Gods Rising. I love it already. Now let's look at what I didn't like about this book. And there is only this minute thing that I didn't like. It's not a major thing. It's one of the characters that I already mentioned. It's Elvar. Now the other two characters, Vag and Orca, they are very layered characters, beautifully explored, very well detailed in the book. But compared to them, Elvar just feels half explored. We don't know much about her. We don't care much about her for most of the part. She still has the best third part of the book compared to the other two. I mean, the third part of her storyline is extraordinary, and that's why this makes it a very small point. I'm sure that we still have enough time in future to know more about Elvar and to explore more of this character. But in this first book, Elvar just, this first book didn't do enough justice to Elvar. So now let's come to the important question and the final question, whether you should add the Shadow of the Gods to your bookshelf. And I'm just going to go and put it over there. I've already added this book to my bookshelf. It's an amazing one. If I have to rate this book, I'll rate it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Half a star just taken out for that Elvar part of the story. But otherwise, it's an exceptional book. John Gwynne, the author, certainly has something amazing in his hands here. And if an epic fantasy book is a full course meal, then this was a perfect appetizer. So that was the review, guys. Before I end this video though, I have to make one small point. John Gwynne, who's the author of this book, is very nice human being. I feel I haven't met him, but I'm a nobody on social media, nobody on Twitter, nobody on Goodreads or Instagram or whatever. But I tweeted to him before I started reading this book. I tweeted to him once I completed the book, and both of the times he was very gracious enough to reply to my tweet with a very nice reply as well. Goodreads also, he liked my review, and that just motivates someone who is just trying to start something that he likes. So thank you, John Gwynne, for doing this. This video is not sponsored at all. This book is certainly amazing without any bias towards the author. So I enjoyed this book. I actually loved this book. 4.5 out of the 5 stars. John Gwynne, you are awesome, and I hope to meet you or at least chat with you sometime in future. If you like this video, don't forget to press on the like button below. Leave a comment in the comment section whether you would add this book to your bookshelf or whether you've already added it and loved it. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews, unboxing and any book related videos in future. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you after your next read.